8 weeks left. We did the first 9, and now we got 8 left. So this is the end stretch, right? It's the final however many, or the final few games here. Hopefully the Bills at this point aren't looking at it as, man, we need to make another run, right? And that's, I think, a lot of Bills fans are hoping not. So week 10, though, you finished with the Dolphins in week 9. Now week 10, you go to Indianapolis. Most likely Anthony Richardson. Hopefully he can stay healthy until then. I know last year he showed some good football, some good quarterbacking early on, and then obviously had the season-ending injury. So what do you think about going to Indy week 10 after finishing up against Miami?
Yeah, it should be a winnable game, maybe another trap game type scenario, depending how the weeks before go. But yeah, like you said, Anthony Richardson, hopefully he's healthy. He's had AC joint issues ever since high school. So seems to be something that's a lingering thing for him. But when he is on the field and playing, he's electric. So I hope he's playing just so we can get a full 4 quarters of watching him play, like locked in on him, not just highlights or, whatever you see on Red Zone. So should be a game that the Bills win, but, always tough to go on the road in this league. But yeah, definitely. And also another potential trap game because like that look ahead at the next couple games, like, oh, we got the Chiefs next week, then the Niners after that, like could be an easy, like kind of sandwiched in between the Dolphins and the Chiefs. I hope they don't look over and get complacent going into that. Cause remember, those guys get paid to play too. So they're a good team. So hopefully not a look ahead game for the Bills there.
And some people before also, and still even now, say, Anthony Richardson does kind of play a little bit like Josh Allen in that physical football that, does have a big arm, tall guy, can run a little bit. So who knows? Maybe it'll be also kind of that back and forth between Richardson and Allen. Obviously, Richardson's nowhere near Allen, at least right now. But yeah, that's another kind of storyline there, is the similar-ish type of play styles from Josh Allen and Anthony Richardson, at least physique and all that aspect of it. But like you said, could be a trap game because of the next 3 weeks, and we'll kind of do it how we did the Ravens, Texans, Jets. This next 3 weeks, week 11, then you go to Kansas City, 4:25. Unfortunately, Taylor Swift can't be there for this one at home.
She can be there.
Oh, I thought she was going to be in
there.
Toronto.
Oh yeah, and how close is Toronto to Buffalo?
I know. I thought she had a concert that night. Maybe I'm wrong.
Hey, put on my tinfoil hat here. So she plays in Toronto on Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, but not Sunday night. So
I thought
NFL rigged, maybe. I mean, NFL rigged a little bit. Like, are the Swifties taking over the NFL? People are saying.
Yeah, I mean, they did come out and say that they took it into consideration. But I saw so many people saying that she wasn't gonna be able to be there, and
Josh Allen's dating a pop star too, and we don't get any special treatment.
Well, I think that part of it, she might not want it as well. So that part is,
we don't have to brag about it. Do our talking on the field.
Exactly. But yeah, no, this 3-week stretch is gonna be a big one though. Yeah, you go, like we said, Kansas City's coming here. I think I might have just said at first going to Kansas City, but Kansas City is coming here, 4:25. Then you go on a bye week, which is very nice in this stretch, and then you have San Francisco, who again, another top tier team, coming back to Buffalo for Sunday Night Football, week 13. So what are your thoughts just on that 3-week stretch there?
Yeah, that's another one where it's, if we can win 2 out of 3 of those, we're great. Don't care which 2 they are. Just, go above 500 in that 3 games. The Chiefs at least have to come to Buffalo this time in the regular season. Last time they came to Buffalo in the regular season, obviously, besides the playoff game last year, was COVID year, so no fans. And by week 11, we'll know exactly where these teams are in the standings and how well they're matching up and kind of what needs to happen to maybe get the 1 seed or win the division or something like that. So definitely a game that could happen in the playoffs matchup there. And then week 12 bye, perfect time for a bye after a KC game, before the San Francisco game, like a time where the boys probably need a week off. So I think that couldn't have put it in better if we made the schedule for them. San Francisco will be a fun one, Super Bowl runner up. Brock Purdy kind of coming into his own as a top quarterback in the league. Their defensive line just has so many dogs on it. And then there was that receiving core, like Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Greg Kittle, who's George Kittle, a podcast I listen to calls him Greg Kittle, so I always call him Greg Kittle too. George Kittle. just a very good group of offensive weapons. Then don't even get started on Christian McCaffrey, who's the like ultimate Swiss Army knife. So, and then the Rams going on the road all the way across the country. They were a playoff team last year. Sean McVay, and then Matthew Stafford. So they're gonna give a good fight offensively just based on who they have over there. So yeah, big 3-game stretch before we go into the stretch run and hit those big December, January games.
Yeah, no, that I mean, Kansas City, obviously, people I know, I saw a lot of people joking as well online saying, hopefully we lose that game, so then when it gets to the playoffs, we can swap it and win, unlike most years where the Bills win in the regular season and then lose in the playoffs, which I just thought was a little bit funny. But yeah, no, this stretch here is no joke. I mean, there's a couple stretches here for the Bills that are tough. I mean, every year you do look at schedules and you say, oh, that's tough. It's a tough schedule. But this year, I know I saw a lot of people saying that this year's opponents and this year's schedule just didn't seem as tough as last year's, where I think I was the opposite. I think last year was okay, it was good. It was a tough schedule, but this year, man, this is like a gauntlet here for me. I mean, you have maybe 2 weeks in a row where it's not as great of opponents. The best stretch, I mean, the best stretch is probably those last 3 weeks, which we'll get to. And it's a tough schedule in my opinion. So when you look at these 3 weeks, that bye week is huge in week 12. But Kansas City, San Francisco, LA, I mean, those are teams that either have gotten to the Super Bowl or won a Super Bowl in the past 3-4 years, and they have players who are capable of it, as long as they're healthy, obviously. But it's great coaching, great quarterbacking. I know Brock Purdy obviously hasn't proved it for as long as maybe the other two, but still he's done a great job there, and great weapons all over the place. So that 3-week stretch is going to be huge for them. I mean, I will ask you this though: out of those, I mean, I guess it's a 4-week stretch if you count the bye week, but those 3-game stretch, when you look at Kansas City, San Francisco, LA, and you can even count Detroit in there compared to, or let's do 5-week. I'll ask you this one: 5-week from week 11 to weeks 15. So from Kansas City to Detroit, does that scare you less or more than week 2 to week 6, Dolphins to Jets?
Yeah, it's tough because, like you were saying, how tough the schedule is. You go through it. There's maybe 10 playoff teams that we play this year, and that's not counting playing the Dolphins and the Jets twice. So could be like 12 teams that we play this season who are in the playoffs this year. It's really tough. So the only reason weeks 2 through 6 might scare me a little bit more is just because all of those games are in conference and have maybe a lot more potential playoff seeding implications, tiebreaker implications. Whereas here, the only AFC game we have is the Chiefs. And I'd rather start off the season a little bit hotter. Last year, I know we got hot at the right time and everything was great, but with the schedule, like we talked about earlier, you can't dig yourself too big of a hole like this team did last year. So I would say maybe that the week 2 through 6 scares me a little bit more, but it's hard to pick. They're both. Neither one of them is going to be fun. We're going to have some stressful Sundays and Mondays in that time period as Bills fans. But yeah, it's a gauntlet of a schedule for sure.
Yeah, and I guess I'll play the devil's advocate here. I'll go with the weeks 11 through 15 there. Just, I mean, when you do look at it, like you said, you don't want to get off to a bad start, but I mean, you want to end right too. You want to go good into the playoffs, especially going into division games towards the end of the year. So, I mean, it's back and forth. It could literally be a coin toss of which stretch is worse. You look at the schedule, you could play every single AFC division winner, right? Baltimore could win their division.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, Houston, obviously you do play the AFC South. Kansas City probably wins their division, right? I mean, you look at it and then you even go to San Francisco. They might win their division. Detroit might win
the
theirs.
Lions.
I mean, you could potentially face. Is that every single? No, is it every single? Yeah, every single division.
Is it not winner? But the NFC East? Yeah.
But the NFC East, that's the only one, and that might even be the worst division in the NFC. Actually, no, probably not. With the Eagles and Cowboys there. Obviously, the Giants aren't exactly the best team in the world, and Washington's not. But it's tough. You get a lot of division winners, you get a lot of playoff teams, and a lot of teams that also got better in some aspects as well. So, yeah, that 3-week stretch though, from 11 to I mean, 4-week stretch, I guess, 11 to 14, those 3 game stretch. That's a tough one there. You get teams that know how to win.